the first half. I'm not going to lie.
Oh, could be Wayne.
I think I got my swagger back. Oh.
I love it, baby.
Them orange britches. Something about them orange britches.
Tennessee wins. By Tennessee, Jawan Jennings. Jennings makes the catch.
Ball hit high in the air into right field. Going back is Sayre. And Tennessee can say hello, win column. A grand slam in the bottom of the ninth. You can't draw it up any better.
We just won a basketball game, and we're very happy right now. McGrath for the win. He got it. If you don't like college football and you watch this one, I'm not sure what your problem is.
Reddit did to do, and welcome into More Important Issues. It is Thursday, October 22nd. That's not right. It's the 26th, I think. Is that what day it is? Dude, every day, unfortunately, it's felt like a Monday. So 5 6. I had it in here. I just didn't have it queued. That's on me. Hey, we all make mistakes, you know.
You just got to move on from them.
Yeah.
Just like Tennessee's got to do.
Yeah, see, you're not having as much fun this episode, I think, as I'm about to have, because I might not even talk about Tennessee. Well, I'll bring it back to Tennessee, but my conspiracy brain is just firing on all cylinders. I was going to say some people make mistakes. Some people send random people from the internet out all across the nation to videotape opposing coaches signaling plays and then sit in a room all day, cue it up to all 22 and try to break down and decipher what every signal means. And then some of us just forget to click on a background. I'm not going to tell you which one I am, but I'm one of those people.
If you could choose to be one, what would you be?
Okay, just going to put this out here. If I got paid $55,000 to do the first option, 100%. Josh Heupel, I'm your man. Call me. I will do it. I will organize the spy organization. We will have people. There will be dozens of us across the nation ready to go at your beck and call.
Heck yeah. All right. You're in.
If you ain't cheating, you ain't trying, baby. Actually, you know what? You ain't got to pay me. I'll just do it. Wink, wink. I better
for 55,000.
And then some under the table too.
Yeah.
Preferably.
All expenses are reimbursed.
That's how we see every SEC stadium. That's how we see every SEC stadium.
Okay.
We get sent. Yeah. That's how we do that. I'm really excited. I mean, I'm excited to talk Tennessee football. This is a fun week. Battle of Beer Barrel. It's always just like kind of it's either weird in that Tennessee either looks way better than they normally do, or it's weird in that this game is really close. Like I feel like that's the two oddities.
Yeah. I mean, Tennessee's dominated this. Do we call it a rivalry?
Yeah, it's a rivalry.
Okay.
I'm not an Alabama, Florida fan. That is, and Florida even less so. But if we're gonna be sincere about it and what it's been since the 90s, it's been a rivalry. And I know they want to, flex during Tennessee's worst 2 decades of existence. But I'm not insecure enough to pretend that this isn't a rivalry, and it doesn't mean a lot to a lot of people.
Yeah, it's a rivalry because we play them every year.
I mean, you have the state lines, you have it's a rivalry for a lot of reasons.
You have the beer barrel. Actually, you don't.
You used to.
You should.
Yeah, I mean, it's a rivalry for a lot of reasons, and we don't have to, just because we win a lot, we don't have to pretend that it's not a rivalry. I don't know where this mantra that rivals can't be below you came from. Rivals can actually be below you.
Yeah, it feels good to be on top of them.
100%.
So is Vanderbilt a rivalry?
Yes. Yeah. And again, geographic location helps it. If Vanderbilt was in Mississippi, I would say no.
That's fair.
But we also hired the most legendary coach. His name's on the stadium to do one thing, and that was to beat Vanderbilt. So.
And he did.
It's part of what makes college football special is like even the rivalries that don't really matter anymore, like they still were a thing and could be a thing one day.
That's why Tony Vitello was hired too.
Good point. Put his name on the stadium? Oh gosh, that's gonna start a whole I'm sorry. I was joking. Sort of. Maybe it could be Tony Vitello Center or Lindsey Nelson Stadium at Tony Vitello Center.
Okay.
That's what we do. We just start putting, and then like the next one, like if I don't know, if I wanted to buy the rights, it could be Thompson Boling Arena, at Food City Center, at Caleb Mitchell Plaza. We just keep adding.
Okay. Yeah, you keep expanding it. Like
Always got something to sell.
Stadium.
Finite resources.
Okay.
Or no, sorry, it's not finite resources. That's the problem. That's why we can't make any money anymore. We've got to turn finite resources into infinite resources.
Okay. Yeah, I like that. Money keeps flowing.
Exactly. That's the only way you keep it coming in. As you can tell, my ADHD is in full swing. We're going to get started in this episode eventually. But yeah, it's going to be a fun one. We're going to preview Kentucky. We're going to talk some football. It's another week at cold. Well, it's supposed to be 80 degrees in Knoxville. What is it in Lexington? Have we checked?
Cold.
Look, because I'm just at this point, I'm just curious. But yeah, we've got a good
55,
85.
55.
It's gonna drop. I can feel it. It's gonna be a nice little cold front come in. But yeah, good weekend of
kickoff supposed to be. It's supposed to be 55 degrees when kickoff.
Okay, we'll see what happens. We'll see. Probably nice little sleet soon after following. Yeah, I'm excited. We'll do our college football picks. Make sure you tell Dylan. Me and Landon have talked about it. I know we're over 500 on this year, but it's gonna be a tough week. So tell Dylan. I'm gonna tell Dylan no matter what I play. Just full disclosure.
Yeah.
I'm not gonna do a Joey and just tell Dylan.
Seems like a big parlay week for me.
Yeah.
Money line parlays.
Okay. I was like crazy parlay. No, you just got to go bet the mortgage parlay. Go wild.
Yeah.
Or not bet the mortgage, pay off the mortgage parlay.
Yeah, yeah. Okay. Put $1 on something that wins you like $1 million. Yeah. I'm in.
That's your mortgage? I knew you were rich, dude. I knew you were rich.
That's not my mortgage. It might be now.
Oh, you refinance for that 7%? You're like, I don't feel right paying 3 while everybody else pays 7.
Right.
Let me get in on this action. Yeah. All right, let's get into the show. Before I do that, I got to tell you guys about some good friends. They're over at Underdog. Underdog is Knoxville's best sports collectible store with a wide selection of UT cards, autographs, and memorabilia. Whether you're looking for a Peyton Manning autographed helmet or the most recent Topps baseball card release, you'll find it at Underdog. The shop is owned by UT graduates and proudly supports UT sports by hosting NIL events throughout the year. Stop by the 640 Plaza at 4452 Western Avenue in Knoxville. They're open 6 days a week with live YouTube shows 3 nights per week. Remember, always bet on the Underdog. Pay off that mortgage. Let's get it.
Do it. Also want to wish our producer Joey happy birthday.
Dang it. I was going to do that. You beat me to it.
Sorry.
Yeah. But I'm a part of this, so I'm doing it now.
Yeah. Happy birthday. You're terrible at betting, but you are one of the best baseball players I've ever met.
It's true.
And also say hey to your mom from us.
Oh, wow. Okay.
She listens to the show. She's a fan.
So you don't have to say hey to your mom. We'll just say hey, Joey's mom. You don't have to do that.
Hey, Joey's mom. Yeah.
Also, happy birthday, Joey, from me. That's all I'm going to say.
Yeah. I love you.
I love you more. Even if you come to our tailgates once every 5 years.
Yeah.
All right, Kentucky. Battle of Beer Barrel. Bring it back real quick. Need to get that out of the way. It's in Lexington. That always makes it interesting because it's usually cold. I think
be that bad. It'll be colder.
Yeah,
but it's not going to be. What was that? 2019?
Yeah, that was terrible. Well, it was very cold. I was very comfortable. Shout out to Adam Massey for the big jacket that he gave me. Well, sort of. I guess he gave it to me. Shout out.
There will be alcohol in the stadium, so that's.
Oh, are they beer now?
Mm-hmm.
Good for them. Good for them. That was part of the problem is I started sobering up about the third quarter. That really sucked. Yeah, it's just kind of like you laid context out before every game. We'd kind of recap from last year, like what happened this week, the week leading up to it, whatever. I feel like context is important because this is a game where I feel like either way, if Tennessee had won last week or they lost, it's in like trap territory. Kentucky coming off of a bye week, but they've also had a few disappointing weeks. Like, is this their bounce back? Are they due for a bounce back? Does Tennessee, are they still licking their wounds from a just unexplainable and unexcusable loss last week on the road at Alabama? Are they able to bounce back? Like, this is I guess can kind of who responds game.
Yeah.
for both teams.
Well, Kentucky's weird. They beat Eastern Kentucky by 11. And I think that game was a 4-point game in the fourth quarter, like midway through the fourth quarter. They let Vanderbilt score 28 on them. They blow out Florida and only throw the ball for 69 yards. But Ray Davis absolutely gashed them. They no-show against Georgia after that game was really hyped up. And then last week they let Missouri score 18 points unanswered in the fourth quarter.
I was about to say they started off hot. It looked like they were gonna. It was gonna be a good game regardless, but maybe even win that game against another hot Missouri team. And I think that's an interesting point and kind of laying the groundwork for this. While early in the season, before Florida, you're like, this team is awful. Vanderbilt was a road game. I think that's notable. Georgia was a road game. Florida was at home. And then Missouri, even though that letdown happened, kind of similar to Tennessee's letdown happened, they have played better. They played their best games at home, which they've only played 2 road games, similar to Tennessee, but they haven't played great on the road. They did at least beat Vanderbilt, but if Tennessee loses to Vanderbilt, I am going Henley Street. We'll just leave it at that. We'll just leave it at that.
Burn it down.
But yeah, I mean, that's, I think, a factor in looking at home and away. Like, I don't think Kroger Field carries a huge home field advantage, but Tennessee doesn't play great on the road. Now, a lot of people want to say that's just Josh Heupel. Well, Tennessee beat one of Kentucky's best teams of history on the road at Kroger just a few years ago, with a second-round pick in the NFL draft QB, which, we can argue whether he's a second-round pick or not. I'm fine, but that sounds better to say, so I'm going to say it. So, yeah, I mean, I think there's kind of a lot of interesting aspects in the context of this game, like just trying to figure out from that standpoint, like how these teams come out.
Yeah. And I think Kentucky got humbled the past 2 games. They had a very easy schedule. I mean, I guess kind of similar to Tennessee out of the gate. You get to 5-0 and you're like, oh, you're sitting pretty. We have a chance to beat Georgia. Again, got humbled. And that led into the Missouri loss as well. Do they, like you said, do they bounce back, or is it kind of just a spiral from here? And same with Tennessee. Is it just, oh, we just can't win on the road, so we're just going to pack it up? I mean, the bad news with that is, like, if you lose this one, you still have Missouri, which, we have a question about that, but I kind of think Missouri's in a better spot. I mean, they did beat Kentucky head-to-head, so but I'm more afraid of Missouri at this point than Kentucky.
Yeah. I mean, I would agree with that, but I'm a little fearful. No, yeah. I was gonna the only thing I was gonna go back onto that is, like, you play Kentucky this week, so I guess for me, I'm like, what is gonna happen? Because again, like last week in the second half was just unexplainable, and I think it was a failure of the coaching staff, but I mean, at the end of the day, like, our guys just didn't play well in the second half either. And again, I want to reiterate, I think Josh Heupel is more to blame than anybody else. Just the play calling was offensive play calling that just kind of put you in a hole. Like, it just dug you a hole. That the defense didn't, play their best half, but they didn't play bad in the second half either. Yeah. But it puts them, they were behind the 8 ball in a lot of situations. That second drive, like, they're having to play from their own territory right from the get-go. So I do think that, I mean, you gotta hope this team doesn't dwell on last week. It sucked. It was bad. That's one you have to move on from. Like, I would not blame them for thinking of it often, but you just have to find a way to move on from it. And that's kind of what I honestly, like, if you're going to think about this game, be pissed off and find a way to get through this game. And the defensive line, they're going to have a chance to answer. The linebackers are going to have a chance to answer. I think if I was Kentucky, I would try to throw the ball a lot more. But at the end of the day, if they're going to be Kentucky and do what they do, like, it's going to be a Ray Davis show.
Yeah, I mean, that's the one person that you stop. If you stop him, I think you beat Kentucky.
And literally one person, their next best, or their next leading rusher has 25 carries on the year.
Yeah, he is 14 or 13 touchdowns.
I'm not convinced.
This
Yeah,
year?
Ray David. Yeah, I'm not convinced that they hand the ball off to anyone else on purpose. And those just maybe miss.
Miss
You know,
snaps.
yeah,
Somebody
like
picks it
I
up.
don't know what's going on. Like I'm
Yeah.
not convinced they do.
Yeah, he's second in the SEC in yards. He did have 280 on the ground against Florida, so that his rushing yards are a little skewed, but he is averaging 7 yards per carry.
But that's also Florida's probably best unit.
Yeah, I mean that's
So
their
like he earned that 280 for sure.
yeah, that's their workhorse.
Yeah.
And I think going into the season with Barryon Brown and Dane Key and Robinson, the transfer from Virginia Tech, they thought that this passing offense was going to be good, and it's not at all.
Right.
Devin Leary hasn't been good. He has 14 touchdowns, 7 interceptions, which leads the SEC. So I mean, secondary kind of lick your chops a little bit. I think that's the secondary last week wasn't great when Kamal Hadden went out, and now you found out the news today that he's done for the season. And that's just, I mean, it's got to be next man up. The good thing about that is I think you have depth at that position, but it just has to be more sound than it was last week. And it wasn't really in the passing game besides that, where McDonald falls down and the safety's not there. It was in run fit.
Oh yeah, that secondary is not great at tackling.
No. And you have to be good at tackling. Hopefully, like they don't have to really worry about tackling. Hopefully, the defensive line and linebackers can take care of it before it gets to that point. But yeah, you'd like to see them, playing a lot more sound this weekend.
We need some more ankle biters in the secondary.
Yeah, I don't know why we have guys that are $170 trying to hit high.
Yeah, I'd rather you get hurdled at this point than not wrap up.
Yeah,
honestly, I would.
Yeah, getting hurdled, you slow down a little bit when you come down.
True, it's a good point. So maybe not ankle biter, knee biter. Ugh, God, people are South Carolina fans are gonna have a field day. They're trying to injure them.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think the Kamal Hadden news really sucks, but it's a good news for all these prepare for next year people. You're gonna get to prepare for next year. That guy that's in is not going to be a leaving senior or leaving player. So there you go, guys. You got your wish. I hope you're happy. I blame that on them. I blame it on the prepare for next year people. And not Kamal Hadden trying to bring down a 240-pound running back with his shoulder.
Yeah, and I do think this is a passing attack where you can maybe experiment a little bit, get some guys in there that just see what you got at that position. Because I think up to this point, it's Gabe Judulali and Danico Slaughter. Then after that, is it Brandon Turnage? Is it who is the other one that played at Florida, the freshman?
No, not the freshman.
Wasn't John Slaughter? Ricky Gibson.
You mentioned Brandon Turnage. Sorry, I was about to say Turnage, and then you said freshman, but you had already mentioned him. I was listening to you, I promise.
But yeah, that secondary's got to be better, and hopefully this is a good game to get them some work and figure out what you have at that position going forward. Because Kamal Hadden was your best defensive back, and he was playing really well and was probably one of the better DBs in the SEC at this point. And when it rains, it pours, I guess.
Yeah, I feel like we do sound sad. Tennessee is 5-2, and have lost 2 games that they've historically lost for the last 17 years.
Yeah. Losing Brew and Kamal Hadden.
Yeah, no, I don't disagree. I don't disagree. I mean, I think you really saw. I think you've seen it since the injury, but I think last week was when you really first it was glaring that Brew McCoy was missing. Mm-hmm. You didn't have a go-to guy that you were sure of, and you didn't have a guy out blocking on the edge that blocks as well as Brew. I think last week was the first time it was glaring, and it's kind of shocking it wasn't against A&M that it was glaring with that defense being so good. But yeah, last week it really showed that Tennessee was missing Brew McCoy. So yeah, that one really sucks. But going back to kind of the defensive backs real quick, I mean, if they do try to pass, I've watched a little bit of Devin Leary. This is a game that you can make a highlight tape from. If you play well, you're going to have your chance to get your hands on a football. Make the play the football. This is a game you really can play the football. The few times I've watched Devin Leary, decision making hasn't been great. He's not been quick. He's not quick triggered. I mean, he may get the chance to throw the ball if our defensive line doesn't have something to say about it. But this is a chance they should be licking their chops.
Yeah.
The defensive backs to get the opportunity to play.
Yeah, dominate the early downs, get them in 3rd and long, and force Devin Leary to be the guy that has to beat you. Because maybe I'm saying differently after the game on Saturday, but I don't think he's capable.
No, I don't think he is either. I think he's a game manager at best. Even when we want to talk about style of quarterback, at best he's a game manager. I don't even know if he's that. And we've talked about it for the last 5 years, probably, when it's become much more important. Your quarterback should be, and it's on the defense to make this the case most of the time, but your quarterback should determine how good your offense is. And if Tennessee allows Kentucky's offense to be really good, then two things were true. One for sure is that Ray Davis, they couldn't bring him down. And number 2, Devin Leary probably played well.
Yeah. I mean, looking at these two offenses, it's as bad as people want to say Joe Milton has been this season, and he has been great. I'll admit that. But Devin Leary is worse in like every statistical category.
Oh, he's not great. I mean, I'm impressed that he's thrown 14 touchdowns.
54% completion rate is terrible.
It rounds down to 54% too.
Yeah, it's horrible.
I know how to round.
Yeah.
He's
a statue in the pocket. Can't really move a whole lot. Been sacked, I think 11 times, which is the same as Joe Milton. But
yeah, I mean he's been sacked almost 5% of his dropbacks. I don't know how much Joe Milton has dropped back, but
yeah, his completion rate is not good. I don't think that offensive line is just incredible either. I think it's better than last year's, but I do think this defensive line can have their way. And then, Tennessee has the best rushing attack in the SEC.
Yeah.
No matter how good Ray Davis is, Tennessee's rushing attack is better than Kentucky's. So if our defensive line can dominate them, and then our offensive line can, get back to how they were playing before Alabama, I think Tennessee can win this game pretty easily.
Yeah, this is a game that I'm counting on Tennessee to play well in. You kind of talked about like Missouri or Kentucky. Missouri, I'm definitely like, let's wait till we get to that week. This is a game I feel that Tennessee should play well in.
Mm-hmm. And Kentucky does stop the run quite a bit. I think they're averaging about 95 yards a game, which is 13th in the country. But Tennessee has the 7th best rushing attack in the country as well. So that's going to be the interesting matchup.
Yeah.
In this game is, what's going to give. I mean, Texas A&M was kind of the same way, and Tennessee ran all over them. So, and
I think they're
Octavius Oxendine and J.J. Weaver, those guys up front are good, but I don't think they're Walter Nolan good like A&M was.
Yeah, I agree with that. But, yeah, they're a sound defensive front, and they have been under Mark Stoops and, going to have the same kind of deal. But, yeah, whatever happened in the second half of that Alabama game, which again, play calling is probably what it comes down to. Like, you cannot have that. You definitely can't stall out your rushing attack.
Yeah.
And I feel like you just kind of have to. The rushing game is something that you kind of have to grind out. Like, yeah, there's going to be games where you don't have to. Things are just working, but more often than not, like you're going to have to take the 2-yard gains to get the 10, 30-yard gain.
Yeah, I just don't think we have to do anything cute. Like, we don't have to bunch up and try to run it. Like, I feel like we just play our game, run the football. I think Joe got a lot more comfortable last week running the football, run him a little bit. And then those receivers were playing pretty good in that first half. I want to see them kind of build on that, and hopefully we can get this passing game going a little bit.
Yeah.
If you do that, I think this team can be good.
Which you seem to get it going in the first half. Again, I don't know what happened in that second half. Like, the only thing I can think is like Josh Heupel came in there and was like, F you, y'all are all getting replaced. And everyone quit. I don't know. I'm just kidding. That didn't happen. I feel like we're going to – but, like, I'm just trying to make
players
sense.
only meeting.
Yeah. I'm trying to make sense of what happened in that second half. I mean, Tennessee just came out and played dead, and I don't know. It was very disappointing.
Yeah, I want to see Ramel and Squirrel get going. If Dante Thornton's going to be in the game, throw it deep to him. If he's not willing to go over the middle, or make him play outside. Why are we putting him in the slot if he's scared to catch a slant over the middle? Like just let him run underneath the one like he did at Florida.
Catch the football.
Yeah.
Just catch the football. Also, apparently don't put your hand above your shoulders.
Yeah, let's not do that.
To find out that wasn't even on D. Williams, which D's wasn't close either, blows my mind.
Oh, yeah.
Blows my mind.
I mean, it had to be where Alabama saw that on film and was like, hey, watch out for this.
They may have not even seen it on film for it to happen when it happened. Like, they may have seen it before the half, and when they get a chance to really talk to the officials, they can tell them. Like, that could have I don't know. I don't know how that gets misconstrued as a fair catch signal, and no one can explain to me, not a soul, the rule book doesn't say it, why we got the ball at the 4-yard line. Because what happens if the ball goes in the end zone, Landon, and we catch it in the end zone? Is it a safety? Do we start inside the end zone?
Yeah.
Where do you spot the football? The rule that they implemented, people can say it's the rule. Show me the rule and then explain to me how we don't start in the end zone for catching the end zone. I'm sorry. I digress. I apologize. Yeah. I'm going to get fired up about this again, but I'm not blaming the game on the refs. I've said many times it's inexcusable. Yeah. I just can't find out how that's a rule and where that rule is written.
Also, like, in what world do you think Jeremiah Thielander has a chance of catching that football? Like, let's have a little bit of brain.
I feel like you could watch a lot of punt returns and kickoff returns that someone's hand goes into the air at some point above their shoulder.
Yeah.
And also, I don't understand that. And then, like, I still think the Iowa one is dumb. You can tell he's not trying to signal a fair catch, but at least he like turns his hand.
Yeah.
I still think it's incredibly dumb. I want to be clear about that, but I don't know.
Yeah. Baryon Brown is a really good returner.
Yeah. Thank you for getting back on track.
My advice is don't kick it to him.
Don't do anything
electric.
cute.
Probably not as electric as D. Williams, but
don't do anything cute on kickoffs. Just kick it to the back of the end zone. You can do it.
Yeah, I don't think we'll have any. Josh Turbyfield is a weapon, and probably the not the best weapon we have, but like a very underrated weapon that Tennessee has is just kicking it to the back of the end zone, avoiding penalties, avoiding a big return, whatever.
And that stuff can just change the pace of a game. Like one guy getting either putting him in great field position or scoring a touchdown off of a special teams play. Like that can change the pace of a game so quickly. Don't chance it. There's no need to chance it. Go in there and go win a clean football game. How about
Jackson Ross is balling out right now, so I just have a hard time thinking Baryon Brown touches. He might touch it, but it's getting. He's sticking his hand up in the air for sure, and waving it. He wants no part of that.
All right.
Our offensive line also needs to dominate too.
And they played good in the run game. But I've got to see it in the pass game. I've got to see it in pass protection. Sorry, I don't mean to be mean.
Yeah, and you got to score in the red zone. Tennessee was moving the football in Alabama pretty much all game. They just couldn't score. Right. When you have those golden opportunities, you got to take advantage of it. And Tennessee didn't, left a lot of points on the board, and it ended up costing them.
Yeah. Yep.
So go score. Get 7 points. No field goals. Sorry, Charles Campbell, but
yeah, I'll explain this maybe later. But I rewatched the first couple drives of the South Carolina game. I'm doing a full rewatch as an investigator. But the first drive of the game when I'm not asking Joe Milton to be Hendon Hooker. I'm not asking him to make the identical play. But his ability to slip from sacks and turn nothing into something was incredible, and it changed the face of a lot of Tennessee drives. So he gets sacked there, like that changes the pace of the drive. If he can just find a way to, and he did it several times in the Alabama game, and maybe not nothing. He maybe didn't do that, but if he can find ways to keep plays and drives alive with his legs rather than his arm, like that's huge for Tennessee's offense. It's a pacey offense, and one play, especially negative, can kill Tennessee's potential on one drive.
Yeah, and I think that opens up a lot of stuff too. Like that linebacker, when he's dropping back in coverage, he's thinking twice about doing it because he's like, "Oh, Joe Milton can, run and pick up the first down before I get there."
Yeah,
so he keeps looking back, and maybe that opens up some slants and some different stuff, down the seam and stuff like that.
Yeah, or maybe it forces defense to spot, which pulls a guy out of coverage. Like there's so many things it can do for an offense, and you've got to keep this. We got to cut the negative plays. They've killed us this year. Mm-hmm. And that's penalties too. That's not all Joe Milton. Offensive penalties, especially pre-snap negative plays, have killed us. We've got to avoid those at all costs on Saturday.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and I thought we played pretty well in that regard against Alabama. Like
yeah,
we didn't seem to like it. We couldn't handle it.
And that was another like rain it poor situation, unfortunately, too. But yeah, there weren't as many offensive penalties as we've had Neyland this year, and that was a pretty good environment at Bryant Denny. Yeah. I know Joey wanted to hate on it. That's fine. I'll let him do that. It's not Neyland.
Yeah,
but
well, it's got to be better in Kroger Field too.
I agree, but it's gonna be a nice. I think it'll be a good environment. 55. They dream of those days in Lexington.
Thank God. I mean,
there'll be guys in tank tops.
But that first down, Kentucky. I mean, that makes me want to freaking blow my brains out.
And they do like the Wildcat roar thing that I thought just tacky high schools did. That was a really good one. That's a good Wildcat roar.
Mine?
Yeah. Yeah, that's creepy. That's a good that's their Halloween theme this week.
That's what
spooky.
I was gonna make a joke. I'm glad I did.
Okay. Is that your cougar call?
That's what I do to my wife when I get out of the shower.
Yeah, I'm sure she loves that.
She does. She just acts like she doesn't. She does.
She definitely does. I agree. All right. Anything else you kind of want to say about this Kentucky game? Anything exciting?
No, I mean, this has been a game the past couple of years where Tennessee has really hit the deep balls and had some big plays. I'd like to see more of that. I think the defense is going to have to come up with some turnovers. You look back 2 years ago, Alontae Taylor had that pick six, and that's ended up what won Tennessee the game. That was kind of the deciding factor there. So I think the defense is going to have to come up big. Tyler Barron, James Pierce, go get you some.
Yeah. All right. Score predictions. What do you got for me?
Dang.
I think this is a bloodbath.
I think it's ugly.
I think it's an ugly game. I think Tennessee, gets more than in that A&M game. I think they're 28, but yeah, I think it's an ugly 28 to 17 matchup. Under, baby.
Under.
The only way it hits the over is if Tennessee's offense turns it on.
I'm gonna go 30-17 Vols.
Okay. I like it.
Under in that one too.
All right. All right. Let's get into 20. We got some recruiting announcement actually recruiting news, I guess, before we it's not an announcement. We're not announced yet, but someone announced something.
Yeah. 2025 running back Justin Baker out of the state of Georgia, Buford High School, which is a top 2010 program most of the time, and having a really good year. Was the backup to five-star running back Justice Haynes, who ended up at Alabama last year and is having a breakout year this year as a junior. And yeah, just playing well between the tackles. Tennessee liked him. He's been to a couple games. Actually FaceTimed Josh Heupel after he made the announcement. And that was cool to see. Josh Heupel's just such a genuine guy. And maybe they're like, Landon, like that's every coach. Well, it might be, but he just seems.
But he wears Tennessee orange, so
yeah, right. He's got orange goggles on.
He does, or you do? Both. Yeah.
Both.
Nice.
Yeah. Christopher Nichols said, "What's up, gentlemen? Hey, man, good to see you.
Good to see you too, Chris. Good to see you. I wasn't responding to Landon. That sounded like I was.
Yeah, it's good.
I think it's good to see you, also, Chris.
Yeah. He says, I think in the next few games, we really need to see the new kids because next year, pretty much the entire defense needs to be replaced. Yeah. I mean, you're going to have to replace some guys. We'll see who comes back and who doesn't, but James Pierce will be back, so that's a big one.
Yeah. I mean, it's one of the same thing as I think with Joe. It's like you only do it if they're better. I mean, that's it.
And with the COVID year still going on, like you never know who's going to be here and who's not. I think this is the last year that we have to like deal with that.
Interesting.
So
yeah, it's kind of crazy that this wouldn't be the last year, right?
Yeah, this should be it. Or like going into like the people coming back next year, that'd be the last year that you have to deal with it.
No, they'd be freshmen in 2020. Graduating 2024 would be their last year, so they could come back for 2025 without redshirting or anything. So you got one more year to deal with it. It's getting much and much more rare because those guys there's not as many of them.
Yeah.
Obviously. But yeah, if you were a freshman in 2020, for all 4 years, you'd be a senior in 2024.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like this coming up year will be the last year that.
Oh, okay.
Like the next
2025 will be the last time you hear of a COVID senior. Potentially. Yes. Sort of. Depending on if a freshman redshirted, they could also do 2026. Yeah. If they also had a redshirt, they could take a COVID year. 2026 is the last potential time someone can play under a COVID year.
Oh, God.
And then, that doesn't count like medical redshirts. You still got like 4 years left of this. I don't know what you're talking about.
I think maybe. This is like the last year that you have to worry about people like coming back or not coming back. Like next year, like you won't have to deal with that aspect of it. Because you'll have 2021, 2022, 2023, 2024. So 2024 would be their last year that they could do it. Like they couldn't come back for 2025 is what I'm saying.
The freshmen in 2020 could come back for 2025.
No, because that year wouldn't count. So 2021, 2022, 2023, 2024.
Yeah, that's okay. I see what you're saying.
Yeah. So they couldn't come back for 2025.
Okay.
Yeah.
But also that's not counting. So 2024 is the last year of just like flat out.
Oh yeah, a big, yeah.
But there could still be COVID. We need a COVID tracker now to see how many guys are going to play till 2025 or 2026. Because you're going to have some medical red shirts and some red shirts.
Like the red shirt junior, whatever. We need a COVID red shirt junior.
That's a great call. But yeah, you could have anybody. So if you were just redshirted, you can come back for 2025. But if you were redshirted and medically redshirted, you come back potentially for 2026. And then there's been guys that have gotten multiple medical red shirts, correct? Like we could see him all the way till 2027 potentially. Isn't there a guy that's got like 4 medical red shirts right now still playing?
Oh, I'm sure. Yeah, there's a guy that's like 2016. Like class of 2016, like playing college football. Which is wild. It's like, dude, are you still going to college parties at that point?
Yeah.
Going to Uptown?
Probably.
All right. Well, we have some questions. You want me to get to those real quick?
Yeah, let's do that.
Who needs to get going for Tennessee to take the next step?
I would say Joe Milton, but feel like he kind of got going last week, and
Yeah, maybe somebody who I was thinking when I
So
read
it's
this
pro-
question, maybe it's somebody who hasn't got going yet.
it has to be. I mean, because for Tennessee
Yeah.
to get going.
Yeah.
I mean, God, I don't even know.
I'm thinking Ramel Keaton. I know he had a big catch Saturday, but I feel like if
He hasn't
he
fully,
yeah, I'd like to see him get going a little bit more. I think that only helps score wide out and the rest of his offense if he's able to fill that void of Brew McCoy and just, Jalen Hyatt and Cedric Tillman.
yeah. That's really, I mean, that's a good one, and I want to go to a DB and say it's a defensive back, but like I don't know who it would be that would have that big of an impact at this point. So
Yeah.
I really don't know. I'm not trying to say like Tennessee is what Tennessee is at this point, but
Kind of are.
they kind of are. Like, I mean, you're really finding out who people are. You're in your 8th game. So
Yeah. Agree. What do you think about us wearing all white? Like it or hate it?
well, it's not all white because we're wearing black cleats. And it has nothing to do with the loss last week. I don't love black cleats with white.
Yeah, I think that's dumb. I don't understand why we're doing that right now.
And I think it looks great with the 90s and the old uniforms, but I feel like there's just something about the old uniforms that like black looks good with them. The new ones, I guess, just how like clean they look, like just real like uniform, like not uniform. That's not the right way to say it because they're wearing a uniform, but like real like construct, like I don't know, just like I guess real like they're skinny, they're tight. I don't know. Black just doesn't look great with them. So it's like something about like old uniforms. Black looks great. I don't think it looks great with these.
Yeah, I don't understand why we're wearing black cleats.
And it makes us, it is scientifically proven. Look it up. Don't ask me where, because I don't know. There's science that says you look faster in white cleats.
Oh, 100%. 100%.
So don't ask me the science. I don't understand it either, but it's true. If you can explain to me photosynthesis, I'll explain to you why white cleats make you look faster.
Yeah, I don't remember the last time I bought black cleats or I had black cleats.
I bought some all black soccer cleats because I thought they looked sick, and they did. But then I got white cleats and liked them better and stopped wearing black cleats.
Yeah, because you were slower in black cleats.
Fact.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm kind of the same way. I don't understand that. I'm also not. People are like, "Oh, we're 0-2 in these." Well, we're 0-1 with the orange helmets. Like, well, I mean, what did we really want?
Yeah. I mean, you have to wear white jerseys. I don't. Well, I say that. Shout out to UTSA. They forgot their white jerseys, but conveniently packed their home jerseys for their game at Sam Houston last night. First off, great move by that manager. He deserves promotion. $55,000 a year in his own office to decipher signals, because to just like strong arm the conference in Sam Houston State and be like, we're wearing our blues. How do you not take your white uniforms to a road game? That's not an accident.
No.
Did you watch any of that game though?
No, I didn't.
Beautiful color matchup. I mean, just elegant.
That's what it needs to be.
It needs to be. It's beautiful. And I'm not saying every game needs to be that, but these aren't black and white TVs anymore, guys. We can get away from these archaic rules that make no sense.
Yeah, I mean, it would be cool to have Tennessee in the orange jerseys and Kentucky in their like black.
I think Kentucky in their blue would be a great matchup.
Or we both go black.
Yeah, I like that. I really like that move. I mean, you should be able to tell from the orange and the blue, the little blue and orange on each team's uniforms that who's who.
Yeah, you're testing your quarterbacks. Like, how good are you?
The defense will wear pennies.
Okay.
At all times.
Or the caps, the padded cap things.
The pennies and caps the defense will wear to differentiate. However, on special teams, it's a free for all. You just got to figure it out. I think that's what we do. But yeah, that was going to be my stupidity, but I was also going to say it's not stupid because I think they did it on purpose because I don't think it's possible to pack an entire uniform for an entire football team and go, yeah, this is right. When have they ever traveled with blue uniforms? At
Yeah,
no
they should
point while they
never
were
be
packing the team's uniforms, they were like, this might be the wrong color.
Yeah,
guys.
why would they ever be packed up for
Right.
anything? Yeah. I
Right.
don't know.
It makes no sense. It's also dumb. See, basketball is almost like more forgiving because you have road trips that are neutral sites pretty often that may happen, or the whites were, you had them in the bag because you travel with stuff all the time and you may put them in after laundry. Like basketball is a little more understanding. I also don't understand why basketball teams wear white at home. That's the dumbest rule of all time too. So do you know the history behind that? Like why that happened?
No.
It's a thing in soccer too. Sort of. That's the thing in soccer that I just don't understand.
Yeah. I don't understand why like players in basketball have to wear a certain number. Like I understand like the foul calls or like the number, they're like signaling the number on their hands, the officials are. But we can just call out their number like we do in football. I feel like would be the same thing.
Yeah, that's a good point too.
I don't understand. Or I mean, they go to the table anyway and tell them like who it's on. So why does it matter what jersey they're on?
That's a good point. Huh.
Yeah.
I kind of like it. I do kind of like it, if we're being honest. But at the same time, you're saying that, and couldn't you, because apparently the scorers table couldn't hear them, right? That's the rumor. Yeah. So couldn't you confuse 52 with 7? Like, yeah, sure, they do the 5-2, but if the guy can't hear, couldn't he think he's just delayed with the right hand? 5, like he just thinks it's 7 instead of a 5-2?
I don't think they can be 7.
You can't be 7?
No, I don't think so.
What are the numbers?
So I think it's
0 through 5. Is it 00 through 5?
Yeah, and then it's
okay.
And
then it's 20 through 25, 30 through 35,
and then it's like through
45,
through 55. Is that right?
55. Can you not be number 10? I guess you can do 1-0. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, it's interesting. I don't know.
That's a great point.
There's 10 people on the court. I don't know why we can't just like say who it's on.
I've also seen a lot of, especially high school basketball games, get stopped to figure out the foul count. So whatever system we've got going is not really working anyways.
Call your own fouls. That's what we should do.
Yeah.
We have one more question. It's all vol everything. Says who worries you more, Kentucky or Missouri? Missouri's looking much better than expected, but I think UK is really tired of us beating them and will come ready.
I mean, I'm sure they're tired of us beating them. I think for me, it's just Missouri not only looks better, they're also they've got a good rushing attack, but Brady Cook's playing well, and that I think is the bigger factor, in my opinion, in saying that Missouri scares me more matchup-wise, match up better with Kentucky.
Yeah, no, that's what I was going to say. We match up better. I mean, they run the ball. We stop the run pretty well. They don't really throw a whole lot and don't really have a good air attack. And so it's just, less worrisome to face a team that's kind of one-dimensional like Kentucky is.
Yep.
And they just don't have – like Cody Schrader leads the conference in rushing. Luther Burden's one of the best wide receivers in the country. They just have some weapons around Brady Cook where I don't think Kentucky has the same kind of athletes.
You heard it here first.
Yep.
Calling Kentucky out. You hear that, Austin? Where's Austin at? I figured this would be the show he was in on.
He's probably waiting to see what happens on Saturday, and then he'll decide if he's coming on Sunday or not.
True.
I do want to ask you about the sign stealing thing because I know you want to talk about it. You're a big conspiracy guy.
I have several reasons I want to talk about it, but yeah, go on.
I mean, are we on a bye week? Because I feel like how does this? Of course, like Tennessee's name comes up, right? All this, and it's just blown out of proportion, and we're worrying about like a game that was a year ago. We already beat the shit out of South Carolina this year. I'm kind of over. I'm just ready to get to this Kentucky game. I could care less about.
I think it's how big this story is, number one, and how absurd this story is.
Oh yeah, for sure.
I think more so than anything else. And then I think
I'm interested from a college football fan, not just because a Tennessee fan.
Yeah, I'm really not interested in the Tennessee factor. I mean, I'm going to dive into that conspiracy because I like it because it's a fun conspiracy.
Mm-hmm.
The fact that you have not only this vast college football network of cheaters working for one university, but that they're willing to go out to potentially take down another team's playoff chance. I like that conspiracy. I'm not saying it's true. I'm not saying South Carolina, received help from another team to beat another team like Shane Beamer has done in the past. I'm not saying that happened. I'm just saying it's interesting and it's worth spending my free time trying to figure out. That's all I'm saying. And I'm going to get to the bottom of it, like that PI that Ohio State hired. I'm just kidding. But
that's like all the South Carolina fans would be like, oh, well, he didn't like signal this touchdown throw or this touchdown run. And it's just like, okay, maybe he didn't, but it's making us feel a little bit better about that loss. I guess we're coping.
That's why, maybe we should just stop tweeting about it and just in our minds be like, they cheated, and just say it. Just say it in our minds. Don't say it out loud. Just say it in our minds and be okay with it and live with it like that.
Exactly.
No, it doesn't really make sense for a lot of reasons, the South Carolina thing, because not that it's impossible to see the defensive signals and adjust to that and know but like most of the time, by the time the offense is signaling their play, defense is responding to that. Typically, sometimes you'll see defensive calls in, based on down and distance and other factors outside of just what the offense is lined up in. They'll adjust to what the offense is lined up in. But more often than not, offensive play comes in, defense signals, gets lined up. And then anything the offense is going to do is going to be adjusted by the so it's a little bit harder to read defensive signals. Now, I mean, it's a huge advantage to know if a blitz is coming or if they're disguising a coverage and they're actually, in whatever 3 deep, or they're in quarters, quarter, half, like whatever it may be. Like, it is an advantage, but it's a little bit harder to do. It doesn't explain 63 points. Sounds like they didn't need to cheat that day if they did, and they just got kind of like a bonus dip on us if they did cheat that day.
Yeah.
So whatever. I kind of want to get your thoughts on this. We've had this discussion before, but it wasn't about football. It was about baseball and the Astros. And as far as I'm aware, everyone outside of an Astros fan can agree that stealing signs in the regular run of play, a guy on second base or whoever can see the catcher or the pitcher and understand signals and relay that to their teammates, that is okay. That is part of the game. That is good. And I agree. But that sitting in the outfield with a video camera and electronically relaying those signals and what's coming is far different, and it's not within the game. It is not sportsmanlike, even though it's really easy to do in nowadays with everything at our disposal. It's not a part of the game, and it's cheating. Like, we've all agreed on that, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Why can we not agree that stealing and understanding signals as a football player or even a coach in the press box in the run of a game, or seeing tendencies like, oh, we played them last year and I know this happened, and if they don't change it, we know what's happening. So stealing it in the run of a game, or even if a coach is seen on a regular all 22 film, which doesn't show a ton of coaches' views, like you're not going to be able to see signals, is far different, or even seeing a player signal something in an all 22 is far different than sending people out to multiple games a week, filming the coach, and then to film that coach, someone then after the game has to go in the all 22, match each play up to each play, look at not only one of the signal callers, but all three to find out which signal matters and which one they're going off of, or which one the quarterback's going off of, and which one the offensive line, however those teams do it, because it varies from team to team.
Mm-hmm.
Figuring out which one's the dummy call, matching up to each play, going through and saying, this is this signal, this is this signal, breaking that down, printing that on a sheet, and having one guy responsibility to watch the sidelines for a signal isn't cheating. Why can we not determine that?
Yeah, I mean, I feel like it's a line, and like the Astros crossed it, and then Michigan crossed.
Assuming this is true, yeah.
Exactly. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, sending people like all over the country to, I mean, not only scout teams that
they're definitely going to play.
Yeah, it's scouting teams that like you might have a chance of playing, or that we want to ruin your. I don't know if this is true. Again, it's kind of like
there's still so much.
Yeah. But potentially ruining chances to better Michigan's chances of getting in the college football playoff.
Yeah.
Which is going to be hilarious that if this all comes out and it's true, that Michigan's going to get hammered. And here they are, like, I mean, they have the best chance to win. Them and Georgia have the best chance to win a national championship this year.
And that is what's interesting, kind of going into the conspiracy aspect of it. There is apparently someone on the Rules Infraction Committee that has it out for Harbaugh, and for whatever reason hates Jim Harbaugh. I haven't read the full thing, but that this is happening now is it may be just a personal vendetta. But it also looks like it was discovered by someone that really maybe didn't have much to do with it, and just they were so just brazen about it that it may have just been on university computers, like everything about their scouting. Which, I mean, it's the film. I don't think people understand how much film had to be compiled.
Mm-hmm.
Like, to think that football signals, because you do play the same teams very often, aren't changed sometimes from week to week. Now, not the entire playbook signals are going to be changed from week to week, but some signals are going to be changed from week to week, from year to year, and that they were still able to decipher almost entire playbooks. Like, do we not understand how much time this took? That was someone's job.
Oh yeah.
If this goes as deep as they're saying it is, that was someone's job. But like, it's so weird. Like Deion Sanders, I love Deion. This isn't hate on Deion. I'm not him. Guys like Jeff Saturday, who I heard talk about it. I don't know if they just don't fully understand what is happening, but they, like, Deion was like, it's very different in baseball. Like, you still got to line up and make the play. It's like, yeah, that's true. But like, if I know where they're running the ball, I've got a better chance of stopping it. Especially when we're talking about two really good football teams. Yeah, if Ball State knows where we're going, that's a different story. Like, they still have a leg up, but it's not the same leg up.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And Deion, like, his argument is like, in baseball, if I know you're throwing a curveball, like, I can hit that. And it's like, but that's kind of true for baseball. Yeah, it's not physical like football, where like it's still going to be, the better guy wins, but sure, you can sit on and I may be wrong. I'm kind of asking you this, but like, sure, you can sit on a curveball, but at the end of the day, if that pitcher throws a really good curveball, especially if he's able to start somewhere in the zone and get you going and move it, maybe, if he's really throwing junk, like that kid at Southern Miss, I thought of immediately, like, at the end of the day, like, there's still a way a pitcher could beat you.
Yeah.
Even though you know it's coming.
Yeah, I think it's more difficult with baseball because it is very one-on-one a lot of the time.
Yeah.
And batter. Now with football, if the whole defense knows that a screen pass is coming, I feel like that's a lot different than when a curveball is coming.
But see, that's the thing is like it would be impossible for the entire defense to know what is coming. What they're doing is they're just essentially telling their offense coordinator, defense coordinator, their play caller, this is what they're doing. And he's got to make a play to line up for that. Like, there's no way 11 guys on the field would be able to understand the signals, get them relayed in, and know where the ball's going or where it's supposed to go. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So it's but I agree with you. Like, baseball is a different story. I'm not saying they're exactly the same. I'm just saying Deion's point could be used in baseball. Like, at the end of the day.
I feel like I'm kind of on that same. When I first heard this, I was like, "Oh, that's just
it is, oh, yeah,
really smart cheating." And I'm like, "Well, you still got to solve it." But then you really and maybe just Deion just didn't know.
That's what I'm saying. Because I think his point is, I think he's right in that baseball is like a little more, if you know the signal, it's a little, because you can sit on that off speed pitch.
Yeah.
So I think, I'm not saying they're exactly the same. I'm just saying I think they're more similar than he is giving credit for. What's going on in Michigan. Well,
I feel like it'd be a lot different if they were sending people to their opponents like the next week.
Yeah, that's crazy.
They were sending them. You go sit in the stands and try to pick up on stuff. Like, I mean, that's kind of teetering the line a little bit, but also like it would take a lot for you to like know.
Yeah.
But videotaping it and then videotaping the clock, and so like at what point in time, and so you like go to the film room, break it all down, and put it all together. I mean,
it's time consuming, man. Like, that's time consuming.
And then you're going to teams that you don't even play or not even scheduled that you could potentially play if you make it to the college football playoff. I mean, that's Yeah, it's unreal.
And as far as I'm aware, too, this story just came out, so I haven't gotten to read it all. I just kind of scanned it while we were recording. Apparently, TCU, a lot of teams knew about this. This was rampant. Everyone was aware. And TCU dummied their calls playing Michigan. So they knew that was changing. They didn't necessarily change a lot of signals, but they had a dummy guy relaying real signals in, and then another guy relaying maybe either real signals in just a different place. So they wouldn't exactly know what was going on. Sometimes they would call the original play on the dummy guy and then signal in a new real play and go back to the original. Like they were aware of what was going on and made changes to not allow them to decipher them and know what was coming, which again, that's part of like coaches know. That's like people are acting like this is a revelation to college football coaches or a revelation to, and it may be to a lot of college football fans, but these signals are changed fairly often. Again, not necessarily week to week all the time, but like I think a good example at the NFL level, and it's a little bit different, but like Peyton Manning, you don't think he changed his calls up fairly often? Like at some point, teams are going to know what's coming. Yeah. If you're saying the same thing over and over. Yeah. But I mean, it's, the funniest thing that cracks me up is, and teams have different thing. I think at one point at South Doyle, it was Dallas and Texas, like left and right. Like every team's got it. It's easy to figure out if you listen, but it's not exactly to like hide it. You're not just saying they don't know what it means. You recognize they may know what it means. They may be able to figure it out if they pay even the slightest bit of attention. It's more of just a call to recognize things and then also do it quickly for yourself without saying left and right.
Yeah. And also like there is that chance that it could be a dummy call and like
right.
Defenders got to think about that too. Like,
yeah, because they may know what Dallas and Texas mean, but you're not actually relaying information. You're just saying it. Yeah.
Right. It's like you can say Dallas, Texas, and if they know it's to the left, but you go on 2 and they run straight through the lines, 5-yard penalty. I mean, right. Like,
but and then like for people again to pretend like college coaches don't know people are in the run of a game trying to figure out their signals. Why would they have dummy callers in the first place?
Exactly. Yeah.
And yeah. Jeff Saturday had a similar.
That's why we have the things behind the.
Well, I think that's there for 2 reasons, because on some sidelines, you're always going to be facing the press box and they don't turn. So I think that's to help block some angles. You're not getting clear angles. But I think it's also so you can
for hand
motions you can decipher easily without blurred stuff. Yeah. So I think there's 2 purposes it serves. Mm-hmm. But they know they're not going to be able to block everyone out at all times. It's not possible.
Yeah, it's hard to block a Connor Stallions out from.
Yeah, I mean that dude is also. I mean, I will pay TMZ money if someone can get me his 600-page manifesto, is what it's being referred to. He has a crazy story if any of that's true. I haven't verified it. I haven't gone through the effort to verify it. This is fun, though. This is what makes college football. You need these stories. You need teams cheating like this. You need this.
But also, if this comes out true and Michigan really did like give signals to South Carolina, not that I think that is the only reason why we lost that game, but karma is a big old beach, and I hope it causes them not to be in the college football playoff.
Oh, yeah. I think.
I mean, because the NCAA is already on their campus.
Yeah.
Like, I mean, they're getting – I think they interviewed the whole staff today. Like, it's coming.
Right. Yeah, they're moving, and it sounds like, again, a lot of this was, like, on paper, good paper trail. I mean, Connor Stallions' Venmo was apparently completely public, which is fascinating. And then you had the story from a Vol fan last January who said he knew a guy who got paid to do it. Like I think that's if there were 0 breadcrumbs, I think I would be like, let's really wait and see. But the fact that there's some breadcrumbs already out there, and then like the way it got discovered before the NCAA got involved, it's made it more fun. It's made it more interesting. And I don't think Michigan's necessarily the only team that is filming team signals. I think they're the only ones doing it at this level. And what I mean at this level is like going to games. Games they're not playing in, sending them to other teams. I think they're the only ones with that. I wouldn't be shocked to find out that when teams play another opponent that they play yearly, if they had a camera on the signals. But that's another thing is like all 22, I was explaining this to someone last night. I don't know how long all 22, whether that software or just a different type of thing has existed at the college football level. But essentially when we were younger, like high schools, to get film on other teams, they would have to call, for example, like, all right, we played Halls last night. I know Morristown West plays Halls in a few weeks, and they played Seymour last night, who we play in a few weeks. I'm going to call Morristown West. We're going to trade film. Like, that's how it worked. And so you were much more careful about like who did it. Now you sign up for all 22 and you get access to every game, no matter what. And you agree to that, and everyone can see what's on film there. And again, probably some signal calls, but there's not a camera fixated on the signal caller. But you know why? Because everyone sees it.
Yeah.
So yeah, I don't know. It's pretty, I don't know. It's crazy that it's crazy that it was like that vast. It's crazy that there seems to be someone who is in charge of this, to the fact that it was a program they were running.
Yeah. Yeah. The fact that like he was getting paid like a salary to do this, to cheat, is unreal.
And again, I don't know if it's that Dion and Jeff Saturday don't understand. And I don't know who all on the show with Jeff Saturday. I don't know if they understand like what the story is saying right now, but Jeff's like, everyone does that. And I'm like, no, not everyone does that.
Yeah, no.
I think it would be a little shocking, not entirely shocking, but if I found out the majority of teams had a camera for the opposing team's signal callers, like that would kind of shock me. It wouldn't shock me if some did, but I think if I found out the majority did, that would shock me. And I think that would be towing an interesting line. There's nothing in the rule book about it as far as I'm aware, but I think that would be towing a pretty interesting line too.
Yeah, especially to him, like he could have went to any game that week that Tennessee played Kentucky, but he came to the he was supposed to come to the Tennessee-Kentucky game.
Connor Stallions?
Yeah.
No, he sends people out. They have like 30 or 40 people that they would send out to games.
Oh, okay, gotcha.
And the way they're able to prove he had someone at that game is he bought the ticket on his account and then transferred it within 3 minutes to someone who went to the game.
Gotcha. Okay.
Yeah. So he was buying the tickets or reimbursing people for the tickets.
Oh, that's crazy.
Yeah.
It hurts my brain just to like think about how much time went into like, I mean, again, just people that you might have a chance of playing down the road, like very slim chance of playing down the road.
Oh, and even more fun about this is apparently this was all potentially uncovered by Ohio State hiring a private investigator to investigate them for this.
Oh, so they're just going to keep going to war with each other.
Yeah. Oh, I mean, dude, they have a special hate for each other, and I love it. And that is a good, fun rivalry. It's got a lot of dumb things about it, but it's a good, fun rivalry.
Yep. All right, let's get into some college football. Dylan and Joey, if y'all want to get in here, you're more than welcome to.
We just talked a ton of college football. I don't know what you're talking about.
Yeah.
This is like, I'm serious. I could do an entire podcast on this alone. I've read legitimate sources. I've read non-sources. I've read a lot about it. I'm excited to see what comes of this. I pray they somehow get Connor Stallions, to do a deposition. I think that'd be a lot of fun.
I think we should hire him.
Connor Stallions, that's official offer for More Important Issues.
Yeah, I think we should hire him.
I'm down. Joey Dillon, watch out. He's trying to sell your job. I think we got room for one more. We can fit 5 in this place.
Oh, yeah.
I'll steal signs.
Joey, did you have a good birthday?
Yeah, something light. I don't know. Wasn't too crazy, actually.
You feel like you're like getting old when you're not really celebrating birthdays?
Yeah, dude. I was like, I don't know. It was the first time I've actually I don't know. It just felt weird. I feel like 21, baby.
Did your mom take you to dinner?
Oh, I was about to say, did you get your fan club to take pictures with you, or
yeah? I was a little busy last night, but yeah,
I got you.
A little busy.
NIL stuff.
Yeah. Not, for the right price, maybe.
Virginia Tech is up on Syracuse 30-3. So that's stupid. We've got some bets this week. I don't know how. Dylan, how are you feeling real quick before I get into college football?
About the options?
Yeah, like what are you thinking? Like, are you feeling good, or are you just
I feel good about 3 of them.
What's
I feel like the spreads were kind of tight this week. They were like, for teams I wanted to take, there were too many points.
Yeah, agreed. I mean, really the only great game that I'm like invested in is Oregon, Utah.
Yeah.
You have a good rivalry in Georgia, Florida. Beyond that, man, there's not really much on this week. You do have a midnight Hawaii game. That's a big deal. I'm excited for that. Staying up till 4 a.m. to watch college football. Oh, dream.
Yeah.
Hey, Dylan, what are your people saying about betting this week?
Yeah, the guys you pay for.
They're saying I'm gonna beat you.
Well, if you beat me, if something's wrong, because I'm telling you.
Oh, you're
Sounds like something would be wrong with you then, right?
So are you my people's giving me info?
Yeah, I'm Connor Stallions.
All right. Who's going first?
Not me.
I will.
All right, I'll kick it off. Again, just not a week I've really happy about anything, but I think I'm gonna do Fresno State -7.5. I think I am. Play UNLV. It's a late game. Kickoff on the West Coast. I believe in the Bulldogs. I think.
Okay.
I'm putting these as you tell them, so keep it going.
Landon.
I think I'm going to go Georgia -14.5.
Okay.
I don't love it, but
Casual.
this is a game that they should get up for. In the games that like people doubt them in, they seem to just go off. So
Yeah.
I feel
That's
you.
fair.
I'm just nervous without Brock Bowers. I don't know what they're going to be doing.
I think Florida's
They
that
got
bad, if that makes you feel better.
I think they got another 5-star tight end behind him, so I think they're good.
Well, that's fair. Ugh, I think that's enough to beat Florida. He's not Brock Bowers. There's just no way. If they breed another Brock Bowers, I think they should be investigated for human, I don't know, something.
I agree.
Dylan?
All right, my first one is Old Faithful, Florida State over 51.5.
All right.
Yeah, I'm kind of going back to the roots too. Like, just because I got screwed over by them once, I think it'd be wrong for me to turn my back. So, well, I only did once this year, but I'll get to my second one. I'm going Colorado +16.5 away at UCLA. Rested, bye week. Deion's got the beard grown out. He'll probably shave it, but I don't know. I feel like if I'm Vegas, I'm thinking super high on Colorado. They lost a bunch of money on them. Now people don't really care. They think Colorado's like bad. They're falling off the wagon. They're just a derailed train. So in my mind, perfect time to bet on them.
I like it.
I don't hate it. Yeah.
All right, back to me.
Yep.
I was on the fence about Florida State over, but Dylan talked me in. I'm in over Florida State. I had it in the book, hadn't bet on it yet. It's officially in.
You can take all Dylan's picks, or
what was my first pick, Joey? What was Dylan's first pick? I can't remember.
No.
Yeah,
I mean,
that's my D.
we're integrity based over here. I would never do that. Yeah, go ahead.
Lando.
Oh, you Landon.
I'm going DJ Uiagalelei in Oregon State -3 over Arizona. Arizona got a good win last week. I feel like that's why the line is so low, but I'm riding the Beavs.
The Beavs. I don't know if they like getting called that.
Kind of sounds like a trap game. Seems like a trap game. There's a couple of those that I'm like.
It is late at night.
I mean, Wazoo -5.5 is crazy. That just feels like that should be against. I mean, even if it's at home in Arizona State, they're 1-6. I don't know. Trap game. I'm not touching it. I'm just trap game.
Okay.
Well, Joey, fortunately for you, we're on the flip side there because that's actually one of mine. Washington State -5 points.
All right. Cool. So that's winning.
Washington State what?
Plus Washington State. Wait, you're taking Arizona State.
No, I'm taking Washington State.
Okay, so at least you're not. I mean, I just feel like it's a trap game that I won't touch. At least we're on the same side. I feel like that's too easy of a bet. At least is my.
Oh, I thought you were saying.
Who are they playing?
Arizona State. It's at Arizona State, but Arizona State's not good.
Okay.
My turn. I'm down between two, and I still haven't decided. I'm between Notre Dame minus 20.5 against Pitt because Pitt stinks, and
Yeah.
I just Sam Pittman, and then UNC. Hartman.
Sam Pittman ain't throwing no
Pitt,
touchdowns.
Pitt. No, that boy.
Hey, they scored 1 touchdown last weekend. Don't hate.
It's fair. Yeah, I'm gonna go reverse card because I gotta stick to what's right. UNC screwed me last week, but I'm taking UNC minus 11.5. We're going back to our roots.
I like that one.
Oh, and they play Georgia Tech. Just to clarify.
Is that me? Am I up?
Yep.
I'm gonna take the under in the South Carolina A&M game. I got that bad boy at 52.5. So a little under over action, almost the exact same. But I'm gonna take the under in that game.
All right.
If South Carolina scores points this week, they are officially still in signs. There's zero doubt in my mind.
Oh, that's true. They almost want to blow the game so that they can kind of get the
right. You gotta get the like, hey, we didn't do that. Wouldn't we still be doing that?
We clearly would have not lost that game that bad if we were stealing signs.
Right.
Good call.
What was that line, Caleb? Sorry, I asked it.
Under 52.5 in the South Carolina A&M game.
Gotcha.
I'm also going to go the Florida State over. I don't love it, but I think they can score it. Like Wake Forest can score enough to keep it.
Did you get it at 51.5 too?
Yeah.
All right.
Let's see what my was.
D Bloom.
Yeah, my next one is Oregon, Utah over 47.5.
I like that a lot. Don, you just send these in the chat so I can go ahead and lock them in for not this, but for actual,
Money.
yeah, for actual financial reasons.
Yeah, put 50 cents on it.
We're going deep on the slate. We're going Nevada UNM under 50 points.
Dang.
It just feels right. I don't know. You see when you're scrolling on ESPN, you're just, you just hit that, your thumb stops on top of it. You just kind of look at it. You're like, that seems like a low scoring game. And then I go, and if it was like 42, I'd be like, no, but 50 burger? No, UNM. I think they won by I'm pretty sure they lost 6-0 last week and then put up 0 2 weeks ago or something like that. So give me the under.
I don't hate it.
My last one. I'm between two. I just don't know. We don't know anything about what's his name at Duke. So I'm gonna go Marshall minus 3.5 versus Coastal. We are.
I almost took Coastal. I wanted to double down back on my UNC business. They did push. No, well, technically they won. That was the minus 10 bet, I think. And I almost went against Arkansas State this week, but
There you go.
Butch Jones, I'll let you live another week.
Landon.
I like you talked me into Oregon, Utah. I like Oregon, Utah. That's a good 47.5. Is that what you got it at?
Yeah.
Yeah, I like that one. I'm in. Let's ride, baby.
Well, what's
I
that now?
I also kind of like Oregon minus 6.5.
Well, which one do you want?
Oh, I'm gonna go the over, but
All right.
And what was the over total?
47.5.
Okay. Yeah, it's total 47.5. Okay.
You trying to catch me, Joe?
Yeah, we're trying to catch you. I got it, dude. We're throwing elbows down here trying to get to 500. That's really what in the bottom.
What are we all at? Do we know? Do we have that?
Dylan, do you have it
Yeah,
up?
I
I didn't pull it up since you had it.
Yeah. So right now, Caleb is 16, 14, and 1.
Nice.
500.
Landon is 19 and 13. Joey is 15, 17, and 1. And your boy is 25 and 7.
Brutal. Absolutely brutal. Can you imagine if I didn't tail off Dylan that one week and go 4-0? I don't know where I would be. We'd have to wrap this thing up by like 2 weeks out.
How is Joey at 15, 17, and 1? Check that math.
That's just what it said.
Yeah,
I
that's
didn't check
33 games. He should be 15, 16, and 1 or
Yeah, that sounds right.
16. Yeah, 15, 16, and 1 or 15 and 17, not 15 and 17 and 1. It's 33 games. Then a math don't math.
Well, and I definitely think Caleb and I weren't that far away when we checked in last show on Sunday. So
I'm just one game ahead of you in that scenario, right?
no, I'm saying that one game sounds like a lot different. It sounds like I'm only one behind 500.
All right. Well, Joey, send me your picks for the last 3 weeks, and I'll get it updated and do the math.
Why don't we just listen to the show from Sunday? I feel like that's a lot easier. Caleb said it last week, not me. That's on. If it's wrong, it's wrong. That's official.
All right. Hey, what do y'all think about Oklahoma, Kansas?
I want to pick Oklahoma, but after I know UCF's good, but after last week, I'm too scared.
Yeah,
that was
kind
when
of the same way. But Oklahoma or Kansas did just lose to Oklahoma State by 7 last week, so
it's true.
It makes me want to take Oklahoma. Oregon, Utah. Did anybody else have anything about that one? I'm trying to go through like the pick'em games probably.
He's 15, 16, and 1. Whoever put in 17's wrong, probably me. But if you just look at last week, he was at 14 and 13. He went 1 and 3.
We're so back.
Mine doesn't make sense either, though. I don't think.
Yeah, you have 31 games.
Yeah, it should be 16, 13, and 1.
There you go.
For me?
No, for me.
What about Duke Louisville?
I want to take Louisville if dude's out, but if he's in, I still kind of like the Louisville line. I just don't love it anymore.
I hate this pick, but I think my last
Louisville just lost to Pitt.
Pitt's not good.
38-21.
They're really not.
I'm taking Duke Louisville over 48.5, and I don't even like it. I really want to take the West Virginia. Who are they playing? I was going to take whatever West Virginia game under. Oh, West Virginia and UCF under, but I'm just going to trust the gut. Duke Louisville over 48.5. I hate that bet. I hate it. But I think it's a night game, right? It's not the Friday night game?
No, it's Saturday at 2:30.
Oh, that's disgusting. There's no way the over hits in that. I'm just going to go ahead and I'll keep it, but that's got to be a loss. There's no way.
And it was what?
48.5.
It's showing 46.5 right now on FanDuel, so I'll give you that.
Dang it.
You want the over?
Yeah.
All right, I got you. Got him lost.
Ohio State, Wisconsin, 14.5.
Again, too big of a number for me. I think Ohio State wins it, but
yeah. I mean,
maybe
the thing is, it's going to be low scoring. But they did just beat Penn State by 8. I feel like they should be able to beat Wisconsin by 15. You would
first
think?
half, Wisconsin covers the spread.
Okay.
I kind of like BYU plus 18.5 against Texas. Because they're going through that quarterback crisis right now.
Sneaky good football.
It's going to be Malik Murphy. I feel like that's why it's not bigger.
Yeah. But
all right.
I don't know. I feel like BYU can pull it out.
Yeah. Any stupidities?
Oh yeah.
All right, let's get it.
Hold on, let me someone else go first so I can pull this.
I got
up and tweet out.
Self-checkout machines asking for tips.
No.
Yeah.
Where was that?
I don't know. I saw an article about it.
That's crazy. The tip thing's getting way out of control.
Yeah. I'm done tipping. If you don't actually bring me food, I'm not tipping anymore. I'm done with it.
Dude, they like try to.
It's
where
just
was
greed
it?
at this point. Food trucks. I mean, food trucks. I shouldn't pay $20 for a burger and fries. Like you didn't, and then tip on top of it. You didn't do anything.
What do you mean, bro? They cook for you.
Yeah, so does McDonald's. I don't tip them.
Dude, I was at the guy in the beer line at Brian Denny was trying to like point to 20%. I'm like, dude, you just grabbed drink out of a cooler. Your hands are wet. Sorry.
Yeah.
Like, I'm sorry. I didn't realize that this was like, I mean, come on. They tried to do it tonight. Mass and I, after my birthday dinner, went and got ice cream. And it wasn't even the guy that, I mean, maybe the tips
Where'd you get
were
ice
shared.
cream at?
Kilwins. Shout out Kilwins downtown.
Killing
And
some.
Kilwins is good. I'm happy to serve them.
Yes.
But, dude, you try to charge like even remotely above like 5% tip for grabbing a candy apple for her is like, no. You're right. If you serve me, you come back to me. If I see you more than once, you get tipped. But if I only see you once for one transaction, no. Nope.
Yeah. Y'all smash that candy apple though.
Be gone.
That's awesome.
All right, Dylan.
Okay,
Oh,
yeah, go ahead, Dylan.
Go ahead, Joey.
Okay. This is not a good way to introduce it. So, okay, after last week, we talked about not putting Hitler on the board. Read the room. So, Celtics last night, obviously, prayers to everybody in Maine. Awful situation. Celtics, right after winning in New York, tweet out the final score. And instead of a normal team that tweets out the final score with, a witty comment, just tweeted out the score and said, our thoughts are with everyone in Lewistown, Maine, with a picture of Jason Tatum just going hard to the rim. Like, no context, no nothing. Just the worst taste you can probably have right here. It's like just glares. But that's just not what you want to. It sounds like I can get a job with a media team pretty easily.
Yeah, it sounds like that was just something that they had to just throw in.
Which I get it. If you're going to do a separate, like if you're going to.
Yeah, it should be a separate post.
Yeah.
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 That's dumb.
Yeah. Yep.
Also have apparently this Colorado commit is decided to forego the rest of his senior season and focused on graduating early and participating in spring football. I think this is dumb, not only because you just quit on your team, but because like you can still play football and graduate early and play in the spring. Like you can get on campus and you can bowl practice. Like you can graduate early and go straight to college and do bowl practice. So I don't understand. Like, what are you're trying to graduate early? I feel like that should have been taken care of before now.
Yeah, but like where does it benefit you? That definitely doesn't.
I don't know. It just, I mean, what are we saving I understand like the NFL thing, like a lot of money is on the line, but like, I mean, you're going to Colorado. Like, how much NIL money do they have left over after they already paid Shadur and Travis Hunter?
Sure.
Fair point.
Yeah.
I don't get it. I just like that's the best time to play football is in high school. College football is cool, NFL is cool. The most memorable time you'll ever play college football is in high school, and we have kids that are just like, oh yeah, I'm going to forego that. And damn well when they get to their senior year or junior year of college, and oh, I have a chance to go to the NFL. I ain't playing in a bowl game. Like they've already said that they're not going to play in a bowl game by foregoing their senior season of high school for something that you can do if you play it. Extremely dumb. All right. Anything else?
I don't have any.
Joey?
Don't think so.
Cool.
Just people being stupid. Stop being stupid.
Yeah. Stop being stupid. It's an epidemic. It's the worst epidemic. Guys, thank y'all so much for listening. We'll be back. Also, go check out Roback, roback.com. Promo code More Important Issues, 20% off your first purchase. They got Q-zips, polos, hoodies, joggers, shorts, T-shirts. They got some women's wear too. Christmas is coming up, so make sure you get on that. Again, 20% off with the promo code More Important Issues. And yeah, that's it. Have a good Friday. We might have a little space, little X space tomorrow.
Ooh.
Not triple X, but just X, just one X. So we're family here. So yeah, come check us out. We'll know exactly maybe later when that's going to be. We'll figure that out, but we'll get it out to you. So stay tuned for that. And hey, let's go get a dub in Kentucky. Beer barrel's ours. We're bringing the boat in, and we out.